guys, what's up? I'm Shay. Welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give you guys a story time because it's a rainy day, it's gloomy, so what better day than to provide you guys with some burning tea. No, it's kind of like a gloomy story, I'll call it. I won't say it's sad, but it's a little gloomy story of one of the worst breakups that I have ever been through. Basically, when I was still going to college, I met this guy in one of my classes. And when I went to school, I wasn't very interested in dating. I kind of just kept to myself a lot. I did talk to people, but it wasn't like, I wasn't thinking about, dating. I wanted to go to school, get my degree, get out, and then make something out of my life or whatever, So I didn't care. I wasn't checking out dudes. I wasn't nothing. But this guy, he caught my eye and I caught his. And eventually I realized that, he was pretty into me and he started talking to me. And then the more that we talked and stuff, we realized that we had a lot in common and, he asked for my number and I gave it to him. And then after that, we started hanging out. We started hanging out after class. We would go out to eat. We would hang out on the weekends. We would go to the mall. We would go to arcades. I would go, to his city or he would come to mine. It was, we were dating. We even went hiking. It was just like really cool, and I started to catch feelings and stuff. I was never like in love, or I never loved him, nothing of that. It didn't get to that level, but I did catch a lot of feelings. And basically everything was really good in the beginning, and then maybe like 3-4 months, I want to say, into dating, I started noticing something. And I started noticing that there was a name of a girl. There was a girl that would pop up on his phone a lot, whether it was text message, whether it was Snapchat. I think he had a group chat with all his friends, and she would, she was in the group chat and stuff like that. And I started to realize this. Back then, I never cared for any other girls like that. Like, if I was talking to you and you were talking to girls, I didn't care. It was none of my business. As long as you're being real with me and, you're not out there playing me, making me look dumb, I don't care. I never felt the need to question him. I trusted him. He was very good to me. He was out here with me, so I didn't feel the need to ever say anything. But as more time went on, she was flooding his phone. It went from like a message here and there whenever me and him were hanging out to literally he would be texting her, while he was with me. And I was just like, okay, like, this is not cool, like, he started to break this boundary that I was just like, it's not okay. So, for the first time ever, I felt the need to question him, and I did. And I didn't attack him. I wasn't like, who is she? Tell me right now, blah blah blah. I was calm, cool, collected. I was just like, hey, I've noticed that this specific name is popping up a lot on your phone. Who is she? Like, do you like her, or what is it? And he was just like, oh, no. He was like, it's nothing like that. She's my friend. He said she's part of the circle. She actually was, I guess, the newest member of the circle, and there was nothing going on between them. They are just like all talk, whatever, trying to include her and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, for sure. I dropped it. Didn't feel a need to mention it again, at that time. Whatever, we kept doing our thing, we kept dating. But as more time went on, I started to realize that he was no longer as sweet or as affectionate with me, and he was really focused on this girl. So that's when I started being like, all right, red flag, And when I look back to it now, quick sidebar, I could have easily walked away and been like, okay, I do not like this anymore. But the thing is that I knew he hadn't done anything, he hadn't done anything wrong. He was just talking to this girl, it was just innocent, she was a friend. So I couldn't really accuse him of anything. But then more things started happening. So after questioning him, maybe like 3 or 4 times I questioned him, I stopped questioning him. And then she started making her moves, okay? So one day I'm just sitting at home, chilling, minding my business, and I get a notification on my phone. And it's somebody followed me on Twitter, and I pop up my phone and it says, this chick followed you on Twitter. And I was like, what? I screenshotted that, just receipts, before receipts was a thing. I screenshotted to get my receipts, and I opened the notification, and right when I opened it, it took me to her page. By the time I opened it, because it did take me a while for me to process all this, she was no longer following me. But I was like, you know what, screw it, like, I'm gonna stalk her. She wasn't private, nothing. So I'm like, you know, looking through her thing. She hadn't tweeted that day. She hadn't tweeted that much. She had one tweet, and it was hours before she followed me, and it was to him. And the tweet said, I'll never forget this, because I remember in that moment I was like, what? So the tweet said something like, it's great when you meet someone with like a mind as beautiful as her face, or something like that. And she had tagged him, and I was just like, okay, this is where everything just started to like, you know. So right away I like screenshot that as well, and I messaged him, and I was like, hey, you told me that there's something going on between you guys, and I believe you, but the fact that she's going out of her way to do all this and stuff, I was like, please tell me the truth and tell me what is going on. I was like, because we are not children, we are not in high school. I was like, if you guys want to have this petty high school relationship where you both get off on, you know, talking to somebody else and making each other jealous, go ahead and do that, but leave me out of it. I was like, because one, I'm not gonna fight for you. I'm not gonna fight a girl over you. Like, that is pathetic. I'm not gonna stoop down to her level, you know. I told him off, and I was like, you need to tell me what the heck is going on right now. Again, he was like, no, it's nothing, you know, she's just my friend. And this is again where it started getting even more funny. He told me, yeah, like, she's obsessed with me, like, I think she likes me. He was like, I told her that I don't like her, but, you know, I like, she's catching feelings and blah blah blah, and like, I've tried to kind of like separate myself from her, but, you know, she's part of the group, so it's kind of hard to, like, he made up all these excuses. And I was like, okay, all I'm trying to know is if you guys have something going on, like if it's reciprocated from you. And he said no, and I said, all right, whatever. In this moment, my guard was way up, and I was just like, okay, you know, like, I'm building my wall, getting ready for the worst. And we still like talked a little bit more, but like more and more time went on, he stopped being affectionate to me. You know, he stopped calling me like all the cute little pet names that he would call me and stuff. And that's when I realized, I was like, all right, there is clearly something going on, and either he's just really trying to play me, or he's just not realizing, you know. But I knew that it wasn't innocent. I knew that she wasn't just a friend like he made her seem. So the last straw for me was that one day he went to go get a haircut, and we were Snapchatting while he was getting his haircut. I don't think we were texting anymore. We were Snapchatting, and I sent him one. He replies right away. When I see his and it expires and I'm about to go click reply, he sends me another one right after that. It was like, bam. I open it, and he's telling me, thank you, you're very cute yourself. And I was like, I never told you were cute. I was like, I know you're getting a haircut, but we hadn't gotten to that, you know, like, what? And in that moment, I was just like, he's Snapchatting this girl. Like, he is flirting with her or with whoever, and he messed up, you know. So he was doing little things that were kind of just contradicting what he was telling me, and I was like, okay. So that day, I was just very fed up, and, you know, once I realized that he wasn't talking to me the way he was talking to me before, I was just like, all right, let's talk. So he was like, yeah, like, we should talk. So he agreed to come by later that week after work, and we were gonna talk things out and see what was gonna happen from here. So that day came. He came over, we went out to get food, and then we drove somewhere. And I was just like, what's going on? I was like, because there's clearly something that you have going on that you're not telling me, so I need to know. And, you know, I'm not gonna say these were excuses, but he did say a lot again, and he basically was just, he cut me off. And he said that it was because he needed to finish school, he needed to focus on school, he needed to just focus on himself in general. He needed to work more, because this was the saddest one, and I was like, it was so necessary for him to say. He said that his parents were on the verge of losing their home, and that he needed to work so that he can help pay them so that they don't end up homeless. And I was kind of just like, okay, if you're telling me the truth, I'm very sorry, but if you're just using that as an excuse to like make me feel bad and, you know, make me feel sorry for you, and for me to be like, oh, it's okay, that is gross, you know. So I'm just sitting there, I'm kind of just like, in my head I'm like, liar, 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 liar. Like, I was like, I know it's because of her. I know it is. And again, for the 100th time, I looked him in the eye and I was like, is it because of her? Are you leaving me for her? And he said, no, I don't have anything. I don't have feelings for her. I like you. I just can't do this right now. I just really want to focus on myself. And I said, okay, take me home. Like, I'm done with you. Take me home. So he took me home, and after that, I blocked him. I, blocked his number, blocked him on every social media I had him on. I didn't care. I was so angry that I was like, I'm done, I kept going to school. He kept going to school. We kept seeing each other. Maybe like a week and a half, 2 weeks. Never saw him again. He dropped out. He stopped coming. So, I was kind of just like, okay, I guess I'm never going to hear from him again kind of deal, which I was kind of just like, whatever, But I needed to do my own research because it wasn't sitting with me that he cut me off and told me that, I was like, he basically was making me feel crazy for assuming that he had something going on with this girl. So I did what, any not sane person will do, or sane, because I feel like this is normal and I don't think anybody should be ashamed of it, as long as it's like not like it's temporary and it doesn't overcome you. But I started stalking the girl because I had blocked him, so I was like, oh well, like I gotta stalk someone. So I stalked her, and they were together, you guys. They were together. She had so many pictures of them on her Twitter at his house. I had gone to his house. I knew what it looked like. I went to his city. I knew the places. Everywhere. Everything that I did with him, she did with him. She had already met his parents. Just everything. Everything. He made me a mixed CD of all this like romantic R&B songs from like 90s, 2000s, early 2000s. He made me a mix, and he made her the same mix. She would tweet about it, she would quote the songs, and I was just like, oh my god. And the saddest part was that like she was so proud of it, she flaunted him. She was like, the love of my life, I love you, oh my god, my boyfriend, I'm so blessed. How did I, like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, you are the man of my dreams, I'm so lucky, oh my gosh. But yeah, at the same time, she was like, when I deep stalked her Twitter, right when he was still talking to me, when things were starting to go bad, she subtweeted me. She would say things about me, and I was just like, dude. So when I saw all of this, and I mean, I knew all along that they were gonna start dating, but when I saw it for myself and I saw how she was about it, I was just like, ew. Like, in that moment, I was like, thank goodness that it didn't work out. Because one thing that I learned was that they were both disgusting people, and I am not ashamed to say that. Like, I'm not like, oh my god, no. They were both very disgusting people, because he lied to me to my face so many times, and she knew that I was there, and she was like trying to get rid of me. And to me, that is so disgusting. And if you are a, and I will say this, I know that guys and girls do this, but mainly because it's like, I'm a girl, and I do believe that girls need to not compete over guys. Like, if you are a girl that does this and is competing over a guy and is being petty and gross and just like, really, come on, do better. Like, do better for yourself, hun. Like, who cares about the guy? Like, you need to love yourself. So anyway, so I was pretty, like, I was hurt. I was very hurt. I wasn't heartbroken like that, because I don't think I've ever really allowed people to break my heart. They hurt me, and he hurt me really bad, because I asked him so many times to just be upfront with me, to not lie to me, and he continued to lie. And I know that I could, like I said, I could have also walked away from it and be like, you know what, I don't think you're being truthful with me. But at the same time, it was like, I never saw anything from him other than talking to this girl. It was wrong of me to assume, but at the same time, it was like, I would ask him what was going on, and he lied to me. And fast forward to once I overcame all that and I stopped religiously stalking her for like the first, couple weeks that happened, I was just like, okay, I need to get over this. So I kind of just like, put them to the side. But yeah, so like, a couple months in, I just remember they got married. Like, they got married so fast. And then the last time I ever was like, oh, I wonder what they're up to. It was no longer like bitterness, it was no like anger, it was nothing. I was kind of just like, I really do wonder what they're up to. they had a baby. So yeah, it's just like, you know, it's crazy when I think back to it, because I'm just like, dude, like, I mean, it happened years ago. It was probably like 7-8 years ago that this happened, but I was just like, oh my gosh. When I think back to it, I'm still in disbelief, because I was like, first off, it was a lesson that I needed to learn, but at the same time I'm like, why? I like, I had been in high school relationships. I had been in one relationship before him that was like a total waste of time, but I had never screwed anybody over. I had never hurt any guy like that, and I was just like, wait, what was this lesson that I'm supposed to be learning? Because this shit hurts. Like, why? You know, I didn't understand it at the time, and like, obviously now it's more of like, he just wasn't the person for me. He wasn't the guy for me, and I wasn't the girl for him, and that's it. But the way that it happened, I'm like, couldn't he have just been like, yeah, I like her, you know, and I'm sorry, I caught feelings, I didn't think I was gonna catch feelings, and I'm sorry I did this to you. And that probably would have been like, that sucks, like, I like you. But at the same time, it's just like, I would have moved on more happily, more understanding, more of like, oh cool, you know, you found your girl for you. But the thing is, they were both in on it. They were both very, very ugly people. And at that time when I was very angry, I was like, bro, like, I would think about them and I'd be disgusted at what they did, because I was just like, it wasn't cool, you know. And obviously we were all a lot younger, and I don't know how they are as people now, but you know, it was crazy. So that was definitely I think the most hurt I've ever been over someone. And it's crazy because he wasn't ever officially my boyfriend, you know, like, we were dating, but it still hurts so much, because I was like, how are you gonna play me? Like, we're not even that invested. You could have just been like, you know what, I like 3 other girls and I don't want to be with you anymore, so bye. And I would have been like, cool, for sure, you don't want me. But the fact that he was like, I like you, I want you, I'm here with you, you're my girl, da 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 da, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. Yeah. So anyway, with that being said, everything's okay. You know, everything in life is a lesson, and you know, you just gotta be positive about it, and you just gotta be like, all right, whatever, you know, Lord, thank you for teaching me whatever you had to teach me. But other than that, I know I got a lot of fucking PTSD and trust issues, but you know, that doesn't matter. I'm just kidding. All right, well, I hope you guys enjoyed my very gloomy story, and I hope that, you know, made you guys laugh a little, and made you realize some things. It sucks, but it's life, and life goes on. And if, you know, you find yourself in a similar situation, know that you can walk away. If you have the slightest insecurity in your gut, you can walk away, and you can be a better and bigger person and say, I'm not gonna be put through this BS. Because they don't, you know, people don't always lie, but your gut never lies. I'll say that, you know. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'll see you guys in my next one.